So I've been planning to make a Moxon vase for a while, and this was a real easy project, and come along for the ride. Okay, let's get this project started. I want to put a Moxon vase here. I've got an older style that I'll show you later, but I pulled out this big hunk of maple, and this is the same length as my bench top that I made 10 years ago. And this piece of wood is a little more than 24 by 9¼ and 2½ inch thick. So I've got a little bit of a rock on here. I'm going to rip this in half, and then I'm going to send the two individual pieces through the joiner. Okay, so I've jointed one edge, and so I lost a little bit of width, and I'm going to set this at 4½. And we're going to turn the vacuum on, and then we're going to rip it. Oh, I don't like that at all. I'm going to do a cut on the bandsaw to get this. This is having a lot of internal stress, and it's binding the blade. Best thing to do in a situation like this, turn the saw off and prevent that kickback. So I want to be safe like everybody else in my shop, and this was binding a little bit up here. So I'm going to cut this into two pieces, and I'm going to trim it back up on the table saw. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so that was much safer. Now I do got some unevenness here. Maybe I'll see this, it's lower here. I'm certainly gonna have to make this thinner. Wow, what a smooth cut. So next thing I'm doing, I'm gonna run these through the joiner, get one face flat, and then I'm gonna put it through the planer. Yes, this is very uneven. This is really rocking a lot on here. This might be a good opportunity to use my hand plane to even this up, but I don't really feel like spending that much time doing that. So I'm going to do it this way. So I checked square on both edges, and not surprising, there was one edge that was not square. It was more like 88, 89 degrees. So I went ahead and squared up the one edge. The other side of both boards was okay. And I'm going to cut them to length. Man, this wood is hard. Okay, I just set up a little stop block right here. Okay, so now I'm surfaced 6 sides, and I'm going to start making a little notch out here in order to put the clamps on the bench. Okay, I'm going to come in 2 inches on each side. And what I'm doing is making a little L channel here so that I could, there's going to be clamps to hold this onto the bench. Let's see, we'll go. I'm going to go 1.5 inches. And this part will be waste. Okay, so I chucked up a 1-inch bit, and I wanted to locate where the center of that bit is. So since this is a 1-inch bit, I drew a line 1/2 inch here and 1/2 inch this way. And that'll give me a place where I can put the spur. Let's see how this goes. Whoa. Okay, helps if you plug it in, Bob. Okay, we'll do that on the other end as well. Okay, so that strategy worked. I get that real close to these lines, and now I just got to cut these lines here. And again, the clamp's going to be down here. So I have these butted up next to each other. So this length on the front jaw is going to be 24 inches. And I drew lines 1.5 inches from each end. And I'm going to be able to fit a 16.25 inch board inside here. And I primarily plan to use this for cutting the handhold grooves on my cutting boards. Now the hardware that comes with this is a 3/4 inch thread. But I'm going to use this piece of plastic here, which is 7/8 of an inch, and that will enable me to have the thread slide in here, and that will excuse me, that will prevent the thread from acting as a rasp and chewing up these holes. So the plastic is just a wood protector. Okay, so I'm all lined up, and I want to make sure this stays all nice and flush and everything. So I put some tape on here, and I got a parallel clamp, and I only really got to get a little bit past the center line here, past this board, because the throw of the drill is not going to go all the way down through there. I just want to make sure I'm seated a little bit into this one, and then I can drill the rest of it out. But it's important this all be aligned. And this is a 7/8 inch hole. Okay, now I just got to finalize these holes and get all the way through. Clear those chips. Okay, so off camera, I cut these corners off, and I'm going to do two passes. I'm going to do a bevel cut all the way around this. And I'm going to see which side is better to be on the outside, because I'm only going to bevel the outside. And a little bit too much going on here, so I'm going to go with this edge as the outside facing edge. Okay, so this project needs two nuts. I need one on the inside and one on the back side. So this is the inside face of the back jaw. And I've got to chisel that out now. And I'm going to do that off camera. Okay, good fit. And that only really took about 5 minutes. So now I got to do it over on this side. And I'm just using this chisel here. Okay, that was painless. No injuries, went in pretty easy. And now I just gotta go ahead and sand this thing up. Okay, I admit, I didn't want to wait for the sanding. I want to do a test fit first. And so that's what the little L shape there is for, in order to put the clamps on the workbench. And yeah, that's what it's looked like. So I'm okay with this. I like the looks. It's going to be very functional. Again, I'm primarily going to be using this for cutting board ends in order to put the little groove on for the finger holds. So, okay. Not bad. I think it's a good idea to put that Delrin in here. Again, you're not going to be able to rack it one way or another with the Delrin, but I'm planning on keeping this parallel all the time, so I'm not really worried about unusual shapes in here. And the Delrin will help protect the wood and prevent this from turning, the thread, and from turning into a rasp. Let's see, I got a little... Okay, so this is shop furniture, and anytime I do shop furniture, whether it's a workbench top or tool handles or a Moxon vise, I like using boiled linseed oil. And remember, every time you use boiled linseed oil, there's chemicals in there that can spontaneously combust. So make sure you properly dispose of the rags. I usually let them dry out in the sun, and sometimes I'll just wet them down really good so they can't combust. So this is a good overall finish for this type of thing. Oh, look at that wood! I love it. Now some people put on the inside jaws either sandpaper or some cork, something like that. I don't have that today, and I don't know if I'm going to get that later on and put that in. I don't know if it's really necessary or not, maybe. So, real simple project. This only took about 3 hours. You know, liking this a lot. It's going to be real handy. It's a lot better than the cheap and dirty Moxon vise that I had built before. That was with a couple pipe clamps. So, very pretty wood. I'm going to let that soak in and wipe off the excess. I recommend, if you need to use cutting boards, or I'm also planning on doing this with putting a piece of wood here and using it with my hand planes if I have smaller pieces. So, great little afternoon project. Recommend it to anybody and I'll be back here when this is assembled on the workbench. Okay, slides nice. The kit comes with 4 washers. I got 2 in the back. Oops. I like these handles, they're easy to spin. I prefer these versus the ones that are round. That's why I got these ones. Okay, I think that's going to work. So it fits real good on the front of the bench also. And the hold downs are almost perfect on there. So I like this. Came out really good. I would encourage you to make one of these. If you got a spare piece of wood, and I think it's about $40 for the hardware. Great little project. God, I love it when a plan comes together. Well, like I said, this was a fun little project, and thanks for watching, and I hope you liked it. And hey, you guys know the drill. If you like my content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you on another episode of Bob's Wood Shop. Bye-bye for now.